Okay, Chairman, we are good to go.
Okay, and we do have a quorum, right?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this November 12th, 2020 Executive Committee conference call of the North Carolina State Board of Education. I'm Eric Davis, Chair of the Board, and I call this meeting to order. Prior to the start of the meeting, a quorum was confirmed, and that quorum consists of 4 members. Board members are reminded that it's our duty to avoid conflicts of interest and the appearance of conflicts of interest as we handle the work of this board. Does any member of the board know of any conflict of interest or any appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before us at this meeting? If so, please state them for the record. During the course of the meeting, you become aware of an actual or apparent conflict of interest, please bring the matter to the attention of the chair. It will then be your duty to abstain from participating in discussion on the matter and from voting on the matter. Board members, you've seen the agenda for this November 12th, 2020 meeting and had an opportunity to review it. I ask if there are any requests for changes to the agenda. And if not, I request a motion for approval.
So moved. This is Olivia.
Motion by Dr. Oxendine. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Okay. Yield
Second
to
by
Mr.
Vice Chair
Duncan.
Duncan. Thank you. All right. I now ask Dr. Townsend Smith to call the roll to capture the vote to approve the agenda for this meeting.
Yeah. Dr. Oxendine,
Yes.
Ms. White,
Yes.
Chair Duncan,
Yes.
Chair Davis.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Okay, motion carries. We have an agenda. Thank you. We'll now proceed directly to our report from the North Carolina Education Corps Review Committee. As you may recall, the North Carolina Education Corps was formed to address the whole child and equity needs of our students across many of our districts due to COVID-19. Under the direction of former State Superintendent Dr. Mike Ward and Mr. John Paul Smith of American Ripples, we now look to them to bring forth recommendations from 2 additional districts who are seeking to join the North Carolina Education Corps. Dr. Ward and Mr. Smith will provide the board with updates on the process and their recommendations for our consideration. I'll now recognize Dr. Ward and Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, board members, for making time for this important discussion this afternoon. This is our second round of application recommendations for the North Carolina Education Corps. You'll recall that last week you approved 17 districts for the inaugural cohort of EdCorps districts whose applications came in by the first deadline. Those districts are spread across North Carolina. They're different in size. Many are very rural, and there are some urban and suburban locations as well. But as we noted before, they have in common the challenges that are produced by the pandemic. They've proposed a variety of roles for the Corps members who can help their students, schools, and communities meet those challenges. We received 2 additional applications by the second deadline, and these are the 2 that we're bringing forward today for your approval. These 2 additional districts are the Wake County Public School System and the Durham Public Schools. The Application Review Committee met to consider these 2 applications. As a reminder, the review committee consists of agency and board staff and several volunteers, including Laurie Morrow, Tricia Willoughby, and Jill Cox of Communities and Schools of North Carolina. The state board is represented on this committee by Dr. Wendell Hall. We also called both applicants to gather additional insights into the applications. And in addition, the regional case managers also offered a very positive perspective on the readiness of these applicants to participate in Education Corps. You may recall that our rubric consists of a 3-point rating scale that in turn consists of yes, need more information, or no. And as with the previous applications that we reviewed, our strong predisposition was to say yes, or worst case, not yet. We were prepared to say no if that was necessary, but these districts made it easy to say yes. Let me add an additional word about these two districts. As you know, the priority for Education Corps is on Tier 1 and Tier 2 counties. So you may wonder about the recommendation for these Tier 3 districts. I'll offer just a few of our reflections about this. As is often the case in even well-resourced districts, there are gaps in achievement that these districts want to address. And these gaps are exacerbated by the pandemic. The focus of the core in these districts will be on schools with significant proportions of low-income students. And these districts will also be a very significant source of support to Education Corps, as many recruits can come from these counties who can serve in nearby Education Corps districts and may have some recruitment challenges. So all that said, the review team members unanimously supported the approval of the Wake County Public Schools and the Durham County Schools as North Carolina Education Corps districts. I want to turn it over to John Paul Smith for some of the details about the applications. John Paul.
Thank you, Dr. Ward, and thank you everyone on the call for taking your time to speak. Wake County is looking to hire 70 core members. As Dr. Ward mentioned, they want to focus core members on needs, high volume, low income student schools. They have 130 elementary schools in Wake County Public School System, and they are looking to deploy core members to those elementary schools that have the highest needs, specifically as academic support, additional instructional, and just general assistance for their teachers. So that is what Wake County is looking forward to doing with core members. Durham County is also looking to use core members to help support their teachers, specifically the K-5 teachers, and they're looking to hire about 20 core members. Happy to answer any particular questions you have about the details of either district.
Questions from my colleagues for Mr. Smith or Dr. Ward? Hearing none, thank you both. We appreciate this update and your continued work at advancing our response to our students' needs through the North Carolina Education Corps. At this time, I ask for a motion to approve the North Carolina Education Corps recommendations as presented today.
Move approval. This is Mrs. White.
Motion by Mrs. White. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Chair Duncan. Any questions about this motion or discussion? Hearing none, Dr. Townsend Smith, will you call the roll to capture the vote?
Yes, sir. Dr. Oxendine,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Vice Chair Duncan,
Yes.
Chair Davis.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Okay, motion carries. Well, that concludes our business for today. My thanks to my colleagues and all of those who have worked diligently on the North Carolina Education Corps. We look forward to future opportunities in this endeavor. I now ask Dr. Townsend Smith to call the roll to capture the, well, excuse me, I now seek a motion to adjourn this executive committee meeting.
So moved, Olivia.
Motion to adjourn by Dr. Oxendine. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. White. Dr. Townsend Smith?
Yes, sir. Dr. Oxendine,
Yes.
Ms. White,
Yes.
Vice Chair Duncan,
Yes.
Chair Davis.
Yes.
Yes, unanimous.
Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Have a good evening.